Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't typically record Sundays, or at least I try not to because I kind of want a day off at some point throughout the week, you feel me? But while I was on YouTube responding and getting back to all of you lovely commenters who've commented on my videos in the past couple days, thank you very much. Those are always much appreciated. I saw on my YouTube homepage that NMIXX dropped an MV. Of course, here's me thinking, the Expergo album doesn't drop until next week. What can this be? Then I looked it up. It's a pre-release. NMIXX decided to drop an MV for one of their B-sides off the Expergo album a week early as a pre-release single. And here we are. NMIXX's Young, Dumb, Stupid. This absolutely came out of nowhere. Didn't even know this was dropping today. Technically, it was a midnight release, midnight KST release on the 13th. I think the 13th is Monday, but obviously being in the UK, it's mid-afternoon on the 12th, on a Sunday. And well, I was already here, I was feeling productive, and I had enough energy in me for one video. So, here we go. NMIXX, what do you got for me? Admittedly, I have no idea what this is going to sound like. Because, yes, we checked out the acapella highlight medley. I tremendously adored it, even though it broke one of my cardinal sins when it comes to K-pop, and that was that I don't listen to album teasers. But considering it was entirely a cappella, I'm almost convinced that it spoiled nothing for this song for me. So, I have no idea what this is going to be. But we're going to jump right into it anyways. Album listen and MV for the actual full release next week will be out the day it drops. So look forward to that. If you're interested, subscribe, do all the fun stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. And here we go.
Turn it up, man, can you hit it right now? 심장 소리 터져게 loud. So freak 좀 거칠 테니 watch out. 두 발 앞에 한계선을 밟아. 운전한 게 페이지 그어진 칸은 없어. 반대로 채워가. 낯선 길 앞에 두려움 따윈 것도.
Getting kind of... I'm really liking the vocal pairing so far. But is anybody else getting... Oh, Faye! Kind of getting Post Malone Sunflower vibes. Oh, super atmospheric. Let Haewon sing with the kind of lighter tone there. A nursery rhyme? Okay. No switch up? No switch up. Ju really threw everything into that verse. Okay. And then pair it with Solyu. I love that little vocal rise they do at the end. Both Solyu and bass part from the first verse. Speaking of Bae, I'm loving that she's getting more center time. What an interesting chorus. Bridge, harmonies. Was this the part from the highlight medley? I'm loving all the harmonies though, so much harmonies. There's background like ooh part. Lily Morrow, pop off. Ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Oh? Huh. Interesting way to end this song. Have a very short but bona fide outro. And a post-credit scene. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Already two major things with this song that I want to touch on. Starting off with, well, this isn't really a point, but this is, for me, is giving off heavy Post Malone Sunflower vibes to me. Like, the way the song sounds is so similar. I'm getting the same kind of energy from it. I dig it. I dig it. I dig the song. But the two main points. One, this is possibly one of the most straightforward, like, K-pop songs that NMIXX has made. Admittedly, they don't have a very deep, like, catalog, and this is a B-side, so perhaps we might get another NMIXX Change Up Let's Go on the title track next week. I have no idea. What I do know is this song is catchy as hell. Oh my goodness. But also, that chorus? Let's talk about that chorus one time. Because there's a lot going on with it. We'll let Kyujin bring us in here real quick, but two things about that chorus already. One, really interesting choice of a sample. NMIXX obviously aren't the first group to sample classical music within their K-pop song. Like, Red Velvet's last two title tracks have sampled classical music. Because Birthday sampled George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, which is a tremendous song. Feel My Rhythm sampled Bach's Air in G. 80s sampled Antonin Dvorak's fourth movement from Symphony Number 9 into Wonderland, first for Kingdom, and now it's kind of become like the regular setlist song on their tours. And there was a song from way in the early 2010s that also sampled classical music that I can't remember the name of right now, but classical music within pop music isn't very new. Nursery rhymes, on the other hand, are a little bit different. Nursery rhymes, especially for people who grew up in the West, is kind of like ingrained into our memories from like early childhood. I don't necessarily understand why, but it's like synonymous with kind of like preschool like era type of things that you like teach your kids and like you learn in kindergarten and things like that. So this melody for people in the West is going to be immediately recognizable. Also to people who played classical instruments growing up. So like your shoulder instruments, just general string instruments, woodwinds, brass winds, piano, what have you. If you learned classical music growing up, more than likely you learned this song, and this was one of like the first songs you learned how to play. Because this is a song that's tremendously easy to play. You can play it in any key and it'll sound the same. The melody is really simple. The notes that are being used are super simple. And it's a very short song that you can learn pretty quickly once you get the hang of playing the instrument. Me having learned both piano and violin growing up, this has been like ingrained in my head way too many times over. But because of the fact that it's a nursery rhyme and it's kind of like associated with early childhood and things like that, being used in a song that comes across as so playful and so fun and so bright and super energetic like this makes so much sense. It's a pairing I never thought I would hear, and it definitely wasn't on the bingo card. I had classical music sample on the bingo card this year, but this was not what I had in mind. This is so clever, and I think a really appropriate choice for the song. But also, speaking of like classical music, there's also a really interesting choral element to this song as well. So, especially the chorus. Let's go back to I want you to pay attention to the background harmonies for the chorus part. So pay real close attention. I'll point it out as well, but that is a quintessential example of a choral round. So, I'll try and explain it really simply. But a choral round is when you have a group of singers singing the same melody, but each group is being brought in at a different time to the melody. So, for Young Dumb Stupid, and by connection, the original song that's sampled, Frere Jacques, they're bringing in the second vocal part after the da 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 da, and once that melody changes, they bring in the next part starting from the beginning. So you have this little offset like delay going on, and it's a different way of adding a vocal harmony to the main vocal part without changing the melody or the notes one bit. You're just changing when they come in. They're singing the same melody. Admittedly, the second part doesn't get to sing the last two bars because timing, but it's a really clever and very rare instance of a choral round being used in pop music. It's not a pop-oriented music style. It's a very traditional, very simple chorale technique. Really interesting choice that they brought in here, especially considering how harmonically heavy the rest of the song is. Like, there's a lot of vocal harmony going on in the song, but they didn't use it for the chorus, and they decided to go with a traditional round arrangement, which is also very appropriate for a nursery rhyme. So they've got that, like, everything nailed on the head, just perfected. And I really appreciate the fact that they didn't continue the Frere Jacques motif into the second half of the chorus, like the entire way through. Sure, they brought it back with the ding dang dong at the very end, but that second half of the chorus is its own thing, and I'm so glad it is, because it would have been overbearing, I think, if they would have carried on the Frere Jacques motif the entire way through the chorus, and I'm glad they switched it up. But also, final point, this bridge, oh, I didn't go back far enough, did I? So if my memory serves me correctly, this was part of the album sampler. Lily will let you pop off in a second, but I'm so glad they kept all the depth of the vocal harmony for this. I'm so glad they didn't change it. Because that album sample, or that highlight medley, showcased NMIXX's vocals in a way that they had never been heard before. At least in my opinion, they had never been heard like that before. It is spectacular, the vocal talent that they all have. And I'm so glad that they got to incorporate it properly into a song. Admittedly, the mix doesn't really do it justice, because you can't really clearly make out everything, just like you could with the highlight medley, just because once you bring in instruments and a little bit of mixing and things like that, it kind of does get muffled back a little bit. That's the beauty of acapella, is there's nowhere for the vocals to hide. Ergo, the vocals are allowed to shine more. Once you bring in the instrumentals, they do kind of get pushed back further into the mix a little bit, which is perfectly fine, but you can still hear it, and that's the important part. There's still harmony, and that's all I wanted after that highlight medley, was just to keep the vocal harmonies here, and I'm so glad that they did. Because NMIXX deserve to show off that vocal talent that they have. But we'll let Lily do her thing again. And this final chorus, once they brought in everything, glorious. Okay. Alright. Okay. I'm impressed on so many different levels. Frerishaka in a K-pop song was not what I expected. Vocal harmonies to this extent being retained from the acapella highlight medley into the actual mix of the song, absolutely. And here's the thing about this song, it's extremely catchy. Like that chorus, there is like maybe one half of a line that's in Korean, everything else is in English. And it's like, it's not very complicated English and it's not very complicated Korean. At least for me, it isn't. I don't know how other people are going to perceive it, but that chorus is so catchy and easily memorable that anyone, give them a couple minutes to like learn it, anyone can sing along to it. That is a very important characteristic of an earworm, is that it is going to be in your head and stuck there. I'm going to I'm probably going to go make dinner after I'm done recording this. I am going to have young dumb stupid, da, da. I'm going to have that stuck in my head. And that is a tremendous sign of a really catchy, addictive pop song, and NMIXX have knocked it out of the park with this, which makes me more excited about what the full album is going to be, and I cannot wait until next week. But that's it from me today. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy and want to see more channel icon is up there. You'll find the back catalog of stuff I've watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with whenever I upload new videos, especially if you're interested in the title track and the rest of the Expergo EP. Hit that noti button. And if you don't watch another video of mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, bye-bye.